It is important that art educators provide quality art instruction and have proper lesson plans in place for their practical lessons. In our lessons, we must make sure that we've got the introduction, we've got the process, and we've got the conclusion. In our introduction, that is when we communicate clearly with our students and our learners. What are we going to be teaching? What outcomes do we want to see? And during our introduction, we always think about our audience. Our audience, we've got small little kids, and we must think about what gets them excited. So let me talk about the introduction. During the introduction, we have something called visual stimuli. Very important to include as educators in primary school, intermediate phase, foundation phase, and so forth. For example, for visual stimuli, we are talking about bringing something in so that we challenge how our students see, and we're also testing what can they see. As an art educator, you can bring things like this into your class. What do you see? And then that's when we start hearing what they see. And you will understand that students will just probably see color, and they'll see a dinosaur or they'll see a crocodile. And then you can bring something like this as well. What do you see? Can you see textures? Can you see line? This is how you get the class excited, because they recognize something from their play. They recognize something from their home. Oh, it's a toy. Wow. And then as the educator, you get an opportunity to now teach about art elements like line, color, texture, tone, shape. Then you bring their attention to certain elements. You can also be bringing more things like this. Remember, you must know your audience. What gets them excited? What gets them stimulated? What do you see? Oh, some will say, I see a man wearing a blue and red costume, because some might not have seen Spider-Man. So we have to be very strategic in how we teach our students. You can also bring things like this to your classroom to ask them, what do you see? You'll be amazed at the responses you'll get. And that's when you've got children buzzing with ideas, looking forward already to what will our teacher be introducing. Then you can start introducing your lesson, depending on what technique or materials you want to use or what your project is. That is how you introduce your lesson. Some art educators prefer using things like music, poems. Some make sure that there's a link in the curriculum. Then they make sure if we are going to explore this particular dinosaur, let's make sure that we are talking to SS, social sciences. We're talking to history. There's so many links within the curriculum that as a teacher, you can find. During the process of your particular project, you make sure that you as the educator, you explained everything nicely in the introduction. You allowed the students to explore, make connections. You allowed them to practice different techniques before they started a project. And then during the process, you are testing their understanding of the techniques of the project that you have given. And in the end, that's where we are assessing, or we are making sure that craftsmanship has been applied. And again, when we speak of craftsmanship, we are talking about, does it look finished? Can I add something to this drawing? Can I add something to this sculpture? Can I add something to this music even? All right, so you always look for gaps, and you always look Can I refine it better? Can I do better? So you teach your kids to look, have you finished your work carefully? Have you done everything that I've asked for? So in the introduction, that is where you've explained everything that you're looking for and what you want your students to achieve by the end of the lesson. You ensure that all the art elements that you're looking for are discussed, and you emphasize it. If you're looking for color, make sure that the visual stimuli you bring to your class speaks to color. If you're looking for texture, make sure, like you saw with the dinosaurs, texture on the different dinosaurs is different. One is softer, one is harder. So you have rougher. So you have to make sure that whatever visual stimuli you bring to the class speaks to what the outcomes of your lesson should be. I hope that is making sense thus far. And finally, explain to your students that they should not rush, but have fun during the process. And within our methodology, we talk about social constructivism. We talk about how students construct knowledge from their social environments, from home, from school, from playing, from discussions in class, from collaborating. So you must encourage that within your class in order to make sure that they are inspired, they can think more about how can I better approach my artwork. So within that, you can encourage your students to work and refine their practice even more. Just want to bring your attention to one more artwork. So this artwork is culturally based. So already if you bring an artwork like this to class, your students will be saying, wow, I wonder which culture that belongs to. I wonder who dresses like that. And already as an art teacher, you can therefore start teaching about different cultures. And some of you may have noticed the blankets and you say, oh, that's from the Sesotho culture. And already you've got an opportunity to engage your students and answer any questions they might have, or you can even encourage them to go out and find out more about different cultures, different continents. They can be drawing flags. You can inspire your students to go out, search for knowledge. Isn't it social constructivism, sorry? They go out and search for knowledge and bring it into the classroom and make the art space more and more creative. So I want to encourage you, as you have to write methodology and you think about your lesson plans, think about the introduction, you think about the process. What is it you want the students to learn and acquire and question, and how do you want to see them develop? You are interested in how they develop. You are interested in how they get to the final product, and you are interested in how they give off their best during the process, and the final product reflects their process. That is methodology for today, and I will be giving more videos on methodology.